Good morning, guys. Happy Friday. It is officially PJ Friday, the last day before break. So let's get started. We have 7 days. Only 1 week till Christmas. There's Miss Winter.
Good morning.
Yay! All right. Also, we noticed our little Bing the second we walked in. Here he is chilling. And it looks like he has a bell. I don't know, but he is chilling in Miss Winter's cubby. So maybe there's a reason. We'll have to find out. Today is Polar Express Day. Polar Express Day. Wow. Okay, we're jingling. All right, let's see what's inside.
Polar Express. There's our book for today. Thank you, Bing. And, oh my gosh.
We all get bells. How fun.
Thank you, Bing.
Hi, guys. So it is our last day of 10 Days of Kindness. So let's see what our last thing is to do. Oh, this is an awesome one. Tell someone something they are good at. So even though we're not at school, you could tell a sibling, mom, dad, grandparents, aunt, uncle, a friend, something that they're good at. Like, I think Miss Winters behind the camera is awesome at filming our videos, and she's also an excellent story reader. She does such a good job with you guys. So today, tell somebody something they're good at. All right, let's do calendar. It's Pizza Friday, so we're using our pizza pointer. Today is Friday, December 18th, 2020. Repeat after me. Today is Friday, December 18th, 2020. Good job. Yesterday, oh, and we moved the present over here by the tree today, so Miss Winters will open that in a second. But yesterday, I totally forgot the calendar, so we're marking off the 17th and the 18th. All right, yesterday was Thursday. Today's Friday. Tomorrow's Saturday. Today is our last day before we officially start break. You guys have done an excellent job the past 2 weeks with watching the videos and doing your work. The season is fall, but that changes, I believe, on Monday. The weather today, cold and cloudy. Blech. And it is our 80th day of school. Let's open our book gift.
We got 2 books. We got There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Bell.
Ah, your
Love those
favorites.
books. And Star Bright Christmas Night. That'll tell us what Christmas is really about.
That's
I'm gonna
good.
read There Was an Old Lady Who Swallowed a Bell. There was an old lady who swallowed a bell, how it jingled and jangled and tickled as well. I don't know why she swallowed a bell, I wish she'd tell. There was an old lady who swallowed some bows. Soft as the snow were those velvety bows. She swallowed the bows to tie up the bell that jingled and jangled and tickled as well. Oh my goodness. I don't know why she swallowed a bell, I wish she'd tell. There was an old lady who swallowed some gifts. It gave her a lift to swallow the gifts. She swallowed the gifts to go with the bows. She swallowed the bows to tie up the bell that jingled and jangled and tickled as well. I don't know why she swallowed a bell. I wish she'd tell. There was an old lady who swallowed a sack. It was easy to pack, a very big sack. She swallowed the sack to hold all the gifts. She swallowed the gifts to go with the bows. She swallowed the bows to tie up the bell that jingled and jangled and tickled as well. I don't know why she swallowed a bell. I wish she'd tell. There was an old lady who swallowed a sleigh. What a ton it weighed, that shining red sleigh. Goodness.
Oh my.
She swallowed the sleigh to carry the sack. She swallowed the sack to hold all the gifts. She swallowed the gifts to go with the bows. She swallowed the bows to tie up the bell that jingled and jangled and tickled as well. I don't know why she swallowed the bell. I wish she'd tell. There was an old lady who swallowed some reindeer. They were in full flight gear, those soaring reindeer.
Oh my.
She swallowed the reindeer to steer the sleigh.
Oh my.
She swallowed the sleigh to carry the sack. She swallowed the sack to hold all the gifts. She swallowed the gifts to go with the bows. She swallowed the bows to tie up the bells that jingled and jangled and tickled as well. I don't know why she swallowed a bell. I wish she'd tell. Then the old lady needed a treat. She thought a candy cane would be very sweet. But when she heard a jolly ho, 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 she knew it was time for her to go.
Oh.
So she whistled loudly, and soon by her side,
Oh my goodness.
wow, was Santa Claus waiting for a ride. Oh my. Happy holidays to all.
Hi guys, so since it is Polar Express Day, Bing brought us the Polar Express book, which some of us may have seen the movie but may not have read the book, and the book is a little bit different. Now, Miss Winters had to start with the cover off, and I'm going to show you at the very end of this video why, but I'm losing it apparently. And it also came with an ornament. So Miss Winters and I will put it on our tree, but we'll also leave it here so you guys can see it when we come back into school, and you can hold it and see it in person. So this is the front cover. This is the back cover, right? No, it's the spine. Good job. And this is the back cover. Good job. So this book was written and illustrated by Chris Van Allsburg. Well, if he is the author and the illustrator, what did he do? He did both, but what is both? He wrote the words and he drew the pictures. So he did everything in this book. The Polar Express. On Christmas Eve, many years ago, I lay quietly in my bed. I did not rustle the sheets. I breathed slowly and silently. I was listening for a sound a friend had told me I'd never hear, the ringing bells of Santa's sleigh. There is no Santa, my friend had insisted, but I knew he was wrong. Late that night, I did hear sounds, though not of ringing bells. From outside came the sounds of hissing steam and squeaking metal. I looked through my window and saw a train standing perfectly still in front of my house. It was wrapped in an apron of steam. Snowflakes fell lightly around it. A conductor stood at the open door of one of the cars. He took a large pocket watch from his vest, then looked up at my window. I put on my slippers and robe. I tiptoed downstairs and out the door. All aboard! The conductor cried out. I ran up to him. Well, he said, are you coming? Where? I asked. Why, to the North Pole, of course, was his answer. This is the Polar Express. I took his outstretched hand and he pulled me aboard. The train was filled with other children, all in their pajamas and nightgowns. We sang Christmas carols and ate candies with nougat centers as white as snow. We drank hot cocoa as thick and as rich as melted chocolate bars. Outside, the lights of towns and villages flickered in the distance as the Polar Express raced northward. And this is the one where it's like, huh, huh, where they do the hot chocolate thing. I don't remember the song, but it was like, huh, huh. Soon there were no more lights to be seen. We traveled through cold, dark forests where lean wolves roamed and white-tailed rabbits hid from our train as it thundered through the quiet wilderness. We climbed mountains so high it seemed as if we would scrape the moon. But the Polar Express never slowed down. Faster and faster we ran along, rolling over peaks and through valleys like a car on a roller coaster. That is a pretty fine mountain. It's like the Smokies. The mountains turned into hills, the hills to snow-covered plains. We crossed a barren desert of ice, the great polar ice cap. Lights appeared in the distance. They looked like the lights of a strange ocean liner sailing on a frozen sea. There, said the conductor, is the North Pole. The North Pole. It was a huge city standing alone at the top of the world, filled with factories where every Christmas toy was made. At first, we saw no elves. They are gathering at the center of the city, the conductor told us. That is where Santa will give the first gift of Christmas. Who receives the first gift? We all asked. The conductor answered, he will choose one of you. Look, shouted one of the children, the elves! Outside, we saw hundreds of elves as our train drew closer to the center of the North Pole. We slowed to a crawl, so crowded were the streets with Santa's helpers. When the Polar Express could go no further, we stopped and the conductor led us outside. These little red dots at the bottom, those are the elves.
Wow.
We pressed through the crowd to the edge of the large open circle. In front of us stood Santa's sleigh. The reindeer were excited. They pranced and paced, ringing the silver bells that hung from their harness. It was a magic sound like nothing I'd ever heard. Across the circle, the elves moved apart and Santa Claus appeared. The elves cheered wildly. He marched over to us and pointing to me said, let's have this fellow here. He jumped into his sleigh. The conductor handed me up. I sat on Santa's knee and he asked, now, what would you like for Christmas?
Oh, wow.
I knew that I could have any gift I could imagine, but the thing I wanted most for Christmas was not inside Santa's giant bag. What I wanted more than anything was one silver bell from Santa's sleigh. When I asked, Santa smiled. Then he gave me a hug and told an elf to cut a bell from a reindeer's harness. The elf tossed it up to Santa. He stood holding the bell high above him and called out, the first gift of Christmas.
Wow.
A clock struck midnight as the elves roared their approval. Santa handed the bell to me and I put it in my bathrobe pocket. The conductor helped me down from the sleigh. Santa shouted out the reindeers' names and cracked his whip. His team charged forward and climbed into the air. Santa circled once above us, then disappeared in the cold, dark polar sky. As soon as we were back inside the Polar Express, the other children asked to see my bell. I reached into my pocket, but the only thing I felt was a hole. I have lost the silver bell from Santa Claus's sleigh. Let's hurry outside and look for it, one of the children said. But the train gave a sudden lurch and started moving. We were on our way home.
Aww.
Look how sad he looks.
It looks really sad.
It broke my heart to lose the bell. When the train reached my house, I sadly left the other children. I stood at my doorway and waved goodbye. The conductor said something from the moving train, but I couldn't hear him. What? I yelled out. He cupped his hands around his mouth. "Merry Christmas!" he shouted. The Polar Express let out a loud blast from its whistle and sped away. On Christmas morning, my little sister Sarah and I opened our presents. When it looked as if everything had been unwrapped, Sarah found one last small box behind the tree. It had my name on it. Inside was the silver bell. There was a note. "Found this on the seat of my sleigh. Fix that hole in your pocket. Signed, Mr. C." I shook the bell. It made the most beautiful sound my sister and I had ever heard. But my mother said, "Oh, that's too bad." "Yeah," said my father, "it's broken." When I'd shaken the bell, my parents had not heard a sound. At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell, but as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all who truly believe. The end. All right, we are putting the ornament on our tree. Oh, beautiful. We will keep it here so you guys can see it, but it looks so pretty on our tree. All right, so we are going to do our last page of our Christmas journal. So our last page says, "I love the Polar Express!" Exclamation mark. I love the Polar Express. So while you write your sentence and start drawing your pictures, I'm going to try to start drawing a picture of a train. We're gonna try it, y'all. Here we go. So I'm gonna start out with the two wheels. Actually, I'm gonna speed this up. Okay, so I started out trying to color like the Polar Express, but the Polar Express is just a little bit dark, so I had to add some color and some Christmas cheer on this train. So again, our sentence is, "I love the Polar Express." If you need to pause or go back, absolutely do so. But now we are going to listen to Miss Winters read our last story. Bye.
Okay, guys, now we're going to read Star Bright Christmas Night.
The true reason for Christmas.
Exactly. The sun dips softly into dusk and closes sleepy eyes. The time has come, all hope is born, a Christmas night surprise. The star is steady, bold and still, robed in her brightest light. He's here, she points down far below, in Bethlehem tonight. A sparrow swoops in joyful loops, a smile lights her face. Oh, come, she sings, see glorious things in this most humble place. The angel's song, pure, clear, and strong, stuns shepherds in the night. You'll find him lying in a trough and swaddled safe and tight. A sleepy sheepdog overhears and breaks into a run. He bounds and barks and wakes the world. Come see what God has done. A daddy sheep says time for sleep to wee ones snug and warm. He'll tell a special tale tonight. A baby has been born. As Mama Cat gives bedtime baths, she whispers into ears. The inn is full, our newborn king will spend his first night here. The donkey rests his weary legs and motions with a nod. He's come as Savior of the world. Look here, the Son of God. All who saw this wondrous sight, this humble holy birth, rejoiced to tell that Jesus Christ, our hope, was born on earth. Isn't that wonderful, boys and girls? That's our reason for Christmas. Jesus is here.
All right, guys, so since it is Polar Express Day, we are going to read the Polar Express that Bing bought us. Now, a lot of us have seen the movie, but the book is just a little bit different. So,
Oh dear.
Start over. All right, guys, that is it for today. It is officially Christmas break. If you watch this before 10 a.m., we will see you on Zoom at 10 a.m. in our PJs. If you see this after 10 a.m. Or whenever, we wish you guys the merriest of Christmases. We know this Christmas is a little bit different. We're not at school to celebrate with each other. It may be a little different at home too. But just know that Miss Winters and I, we love you and we miss you guys a ton. And we can't wait to be back together in school. But until then, have a great break and be good to your mom and dads and grandparents. And we will see you very soon. We love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.